and we've got it going.
Yes.
Okay, so for those of you who are listening, and we've only got 3 of us right now, Elisa, me, and Natalie, and we are talking about the Dropbox document that Lisa has incredibly prepared for us about each of these teams, and we're planning on talking through some of these. Let's start with the ones that Lisa's recommending that we go ahead and greenlight. And we're going to go ahead and send these to Chris Arentz now, and we're going to go ahead, us 3, and take a look at these real quickly to see if there are any last-minute issues that we might have with, let's start with addiction. Can everybody pull up addiction on their own screens?
Yeah.
Well, I'll pull up. We'll just double-check these, see if there's anything, any issues or whatever, which I doubt there will be. So we've got a good description. We got 130 edits here. We got some people working together. Yeah.
Yeah.
App features. They've got ideas. Do they have a sitemap?
I don't see one.
Okay, so here's what we'll do on this one. Let's go ahead and send it, but I'm going to go on the main. I'm going to go on the main page. You just joined us, Susan.
Hi.
Hey, Susan, we are going through a Dropbox document that Lisa has, and we are putting feedback on. I'm going to be editing the student heartbreak mapping page. Right now we're looking at addiction. Not having an addiction, but
mine's coffee.
And where is addiction? Oh, there they are. Okay, so addiction right now, the only thing I see is they have no sitemap.
Right.
Missing a sitemap. Okay, so we're just trying to let's go ahead and start taking a look at the next one. And
which one? Poverty?
The next one you have. Poverty is the next one you want to green light. And Susan, we're going to go ahead and send these that are really, really close to Chris Arentz for reviews, so we can go ahead and get some wins and some green lights there. So everybody looking at poverty. And y'all go on mic when you're ready. Hey, Dawn.
Hey.
Lisa, do you want to tell them what we're doing while I'm looking at, the rest of us are looking at poverty?
Yes, I put a Dropbox link in the chat for everyone. And if you click on it, it should open up a document with 2 things that were at the bottom of that document, where I have made a table of the teams I thought we should greenlight. So we're going to go through Hello Junior and see.
Hey, Junior.
Well,
we got everybody here. We can always, since we have everybody now, we've been in the process. So I don't see anything. Everybody's looking at poverty, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any reason. I think that we should just disclose to the students that it's been sent to Chris Arentz for final approval. Anybody have any other anybody else have anything that they want to say on that one? Let me show you guys what I'm going to do, and I'll throw in the link.
Junior's on the move. Watch out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's the link to the page, and Lisa's going to throw in the Dropbox link again.
Sure will.
And so, guys, what we need to do, our big issue is we've got to give feedback to all the students. We'll let everybody give a quick update, but our focus right now is try to give some feedback to the students. You can see what I did with poverty and addiction. So addiction, we're going ahead and sending to Chris Arentz, but it's missing a sitemap. So we're telling the kids, missing a sitemap. Poverty, sent to Chris Arentz for final approval. We don't see anything else unless you guys see something on that particular one that would keep it from going to a green light. We're basically going to, our push is to try to go ahead and get 3 or 4 of these green lighted to go ahead into production. And what's going to happen is the rest of the students are going to feel the pressure of, okay, we're moving ahead, and that sort of thing. So we do need to talk through these. I'd feel better if we all talk about them. Some right now are under red light, but some of you guys have wanted to move them to yellow, and we can discuss those. But what we're looking for is a high functioning. No, we don't want, it's in Dropbox. Oh, Lisa, I shared it to Lisa privately. I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
Share it to everyone. There. And there, Susan. 2 links. Open up Dropbox. Open up student heartbreak mapping page. You can see the feedback that we've started getting. Okay, so we want to make sure, though, guys, that we have a highly functioning team. It is not going to behoove us to have teams that are not, or that are dysfunctional, or only led by one person or maybe 2 people. So if we do our work now, we will have a happier next week and tomorrow. Okay, so everybody's here. I'm going to let everybody say real quickly where we are. Then we're going to come back to our green light, yellow light, red light. We threw, Kat, I don't know if you got a copy of the 2 links we just threw in of where kind of we are. Lisa did a great job of updating. And I will, guys, admit to you that I am a little bit reeling. So I went to Utah and back in less than 48 hours and spoke at the Literacy Promise Conference.
And I heard you were fantastic.
I had a room that was cold the first time, so I had a few people left, but then they came back when I got the room warmer. I don't know what happened with that. I'm not used to people ever walking out of my session. But there were 300-something people, and a few people, left, and I wasn't crazy about that. But my second session, Differentiating Instruction with Technology, I had their rapt attention because, not because I'm so amazing, but because the topic is so near and dear to my heart. Yeah, well, reaching every child is so important. And anyway, so came back, and it's the end of the grading period. So I was up till past 1 a.m. last night. And Lisa has done the heavy lifting along with Susan at the end of last week, and I really appreciate that. I'm actually very impressed. You can tell when you have a project that's starting to take off when you go off and come back and you see a lot of work like we've seen. So let's let everybody give a brief update of where they are. Natalie, you were the first one in the room here. You beat me even. Why don't you go, and then we'll go to Susan, Dawn, Junior, and Kat, and then go back to our superstar Lisa here. Go ahead.
Hi. This week has been, well, I should say last week was ISTEP testing, which is our state exams, and it was a difficult week for me to keep the continuity running. And I had one student that was thinking to pull himself out, and I gave a pep talk, and I've been doing some parent phone calls, which I think makes a big difference for the students, and also just acknowledging the importance of this program and having the opportunity was when they signed on, I made sure that I let them know, like, this is a responsibility of being active. And I think they're still looking at high school students on the site and feeling like amazed and yet worried that they're going to screw up. So I don't know, but they're getting there. And I know that one of my students who, Ginger Ninja, he is brilliant and a public speaker at that. And I hope that I can get him participating more than what he was. And his mother assured me that she would work with him and make sure that he logs on at home and takes some time outside of class, because that was kind of a concern of mine, that they weren't doing enough online during my class. So that's kind of where I'm at with my update. And I'm still super excited, and I've been commenting and trying to cheerlead my teams on. And that's a new feeling for me. Coming into the program, I didn't know what to expect. And so I'm thankful I've got this far. So it's a win-win for me. Thank you.
I'm proud of you. Good job. Susan.
Thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. Well, I have all 4 of mine are on teams, which is good. That I think are both pretty strong projects, and they're yellow lighted, both of them. For me, the biggest challenge is getting the guys to contribute to the wiki when I only see them once a week. Like, they'll contribute on the day we have class, and then, you know, like one was off at robotics competition for a couple of days, and so for me, that's the biggest challenge I'm having right now. Is like when I have them, they focus, and then poof, they're gone for a week. So I'm hoping that maybe, you know, once we kind of start greenlighting some of the apps, that they will be contributing more to their groups. So I one of the projects, I know, the texting and driving, I know one of my students had a lot of really good ideas, but I don't know if they're technically feasible. And that was something where we would need Chris Ahrens to weigh in on that. So I'm waiting to see kind of what happens with that after our meeting tonight.
Cool. Dawn?
Okay, sorry, I had to unmute. I was just jotting down my notes so I didn't forget. I have, I think, the largest group, because I have like 3 classes doing it, and there's 75, I think, students of mine doing it. So I'm having some different experiences. There's been some kids who've been getting a lot of work done, and they're a little bit upset that they aren't seeing some work by some of the other students, and they're trying to figure out how to. And I've tried to talk to them gently. I made them delete some of their first discussion comments of encouragement as they thought they were. And I was like, that's actually discouragement. You're going to alienate them. You need to learn how to be, you know, encouraging them to help add to it, not saying get off your tuchus and do it. That doesn't work. So that's been a little bit of a process. I know the cancer group has been worried about losing some of, you know, getting red lighted, because they are concerned about lack of participation by some groups. And I can, of course, get onto the ones at my school, and they just aren't quite sure how to do it with the others. And then the sex trafficking, oh my gosh, that gentleman, I have Elijah, has been doing an amazing job. His mother, and he is working with 2 not-for-profit groups that are actually organized. His mom is one of them, like the head of one of them on the corporate level. And he talked to not only his mom, but another one that's highly reputable. We're trying to make sure we keep it private, because he's actually calling these directors and CEOs of these groups.
Wow.
And so, like, his app ideas, and I saw some of the comments, and I was like, make sure you add that you're talking to these. You don't have to say their names maybe, but at least the head of this group, to give it more credibility, because he actually asked him, what kind of app ideas would you like that you would see that would actually be useful. And it was one about, you know, having hotlines for each state, and the one about teachers and looking for signs and things like that. Because he's participated many a times with his mom, like going down on Princess Night in downtown Atlanta, where they tried to give a flower to a girl. And I mean, he's had dinner and many conversations with lots of survivors. So, you know, there's a real connection there. But I also see, I'm like, Elijah, you're doing amazing work. However, everyone else is letting you do all the work. So that's where I've been a bit concerned about it.
Well, and we might need to steer some people in that direction,
Right.
to go with that group, because I see
They only have 6.
Yes, 1 RCA, and we need some other.
Yeah, and it's mostly Flowery Branch. That was another concern. I was like, you guys really need to recruit heavily.
So we've got some here's the deal, is that when you have somebody with that kind of connection and that kind of and this is such an important issue, it's one we'll have to be sensitive about, but it's an important issue. So,
and he's been really good about talking with me on how to handle it. Like, I helped him pick which pictures when he was getting the pictures. So be careful about being graphic and what we're, you know, looking at.
So teachers, what do you think if we have some of our teams red lighted, if we might try to encourage some to go towards this team? Do you think that's something how do you guys feel about that?
Oh, sorry, let me close my door. My dog's going crazy.
I think that's a good idea. I was looking for any other teams that are exactly the same, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of an off one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
but you know what? This is what. Let me give you a thought. You're going to give me an idea. get him on camera to shoot a film, put it at the top to pitch these people and to express in his, that is something these kids can do who are great verbally, is to shoot the film of themselves and throw it at the top of the page and say, we really want, and put the link on some of these small groups and say, here's a video I made, help, pitching you to ask you to come over or consider this, and here's why. You think that's something you could help him do?
Oh yeah, he would do. And I've got a few other kids that are pretty strong. It's just he's off and running with it. I mean, he has a very personal connection with it. And and we're also, that was the same class that was doing the Mexican drug war one, that they've had friends, like one of them, I think his cousin was shot and killed in a Mexican drug gang war. So we've had and they saw that one get red light, and I couldn't figure out what happened at the last meeting to tell him. I'm like, I'm not sure. I knew we were talking about it, but he's afraid with his connection. Like the other one was red lighted and not, because because both of them are real passionate. So I was like, uh-oh. Well, he's running with it, but everyone else is kind of like, oh, go ahead, Elijah.
Well, let's talk about the green lights and red lights at the end of this. We'll go through all of them. We'll see if there's a case that things need to be shifted. We'll give really good feedback to the kids with specifics of when things need to be done by, and go from there. We've also got to talk about, how kids need to get project managers and assistant project managers as well, because it's time to do that. Okay, let's go. This great thoughts, and I'm going to come back to some of those. Junior.
All right. My experience actually this week was something similar to, I think, Susan's. Just because I don't see the kids, I see them, but I don't meet with them. And I have several days that happen. But I gave them some assignments and stuff, and I was going on and I was looking. I was noticing some of them have been, trying to join conversation and do their part to contribute. A couple I've yet to see anything from. So we're having a nice little lunch meeting tomorrow to kind of discuss some things and different ways of getting them either back involved. And I didn't do my part this past weekend on checking the statuses of the red light and the green lighted, the yellow lighted and the green lighted heartbreaks, because I wanted to see if any of them involved some of my students and try to push them towards another heartbreak that was something that was solid, but just needed some more people or, needing additional schools and stuff. So that's kind of my game plan for instructions of goals for them to do this week, along with getting on the blog. But last week was an extremely, hectic RCA week. But this week is a little bit more calmer and laid back. So I think we'll be able to get a lot accomplished this week.
Good. Okay. Hey, Kat.
Hey, guys. Sorry I missed you all last week. I was in Kansas with Chris Aarons, working with one of our clients, and didn't get back until Thursday. So Christy was kind of filling in for me, and I'm kind of getting caught up, but have been looking at the spreadsheet of all the red lights and green lights, and I'm really excited about some of these groups. And we're just waiting for you guys to give us the go-ahead to give you our red lights and green lights and all that stuff. And so, I was showing some of these topics to the rest of my customer success team, and we were like, wow, this is intense. And so we're excited to see kind of where the kids want to go with it and things like that. So ready to get started on that.
And a big round of applause to Lisa Durf, who's held it together while I was in Utah, and for Susan Bearden for working with Lisa. Lisa, what you want to say? You got anything to say, feedback, thoughts? Because you've really dug into all of these really well.
I did nothing. This is all I type things, I make notes. I can't make handwritten notes, but I can make typewritten notes. That's all I did. I'm very happy that when I went there, I thought, oh, they're all going to be yellow lights or some red lights. And I saw kids working. I could see the evidence of it. And I don't like to go in during the day because I did one time, and I think I might have erased somebody's work. And I immediately found them and sent them a message, but I don't know if they knew how to open it, But anyway, I'm very happy we have 3 groups that I'm definitely going to be able to put on that, whatever that Microsoft thing is, the OneNote. to Christy for student group for greenlighting. I think the kids are doing a really good job. I think the one thing the teachers, if it matters at all in the final app thing, which I don't think it does, I think it's just on the wiki, there's a lot of citation which is not APA or MLA. And that may not matter in this.
I think at this point, it's kind of an indicator of can they follow guidelines, but not everybody had those guidelines, and we have everybody with different amounts of time to participate. So I would not get hung up in the citation methods, although when we go into the app, we do need to definitely have some consistency, I would think. Okay, so a couple thoughts here. First thing I want to mention, and Natalie had said that somebody kind of wanted to pull out, ambiguity is difficult, but ambiguity is life. So this is a great opportunity to speak about the word ambiguity. And really talk to kids about, when you do a real project in the real world, it's not like you have a rubric and you can check down the list. You have to read it and say, what's next? Now, a couple of strategies for how to motivate others, Dawn. Typically, I have found, we've all got different strengths and skill sets, and that you get these kids who they easily see what's next. Then you get these other kids that are worker bees and they want to work, but they don't know what's next. So if you're going to see these leaders and who kind of emerge and say, okay, guys, we need to do this here. Who wants to do it? Or we need to do that here. So one strategy is to leave a message and say, okay, I did this. Can somebody take over where I left? That's one strategy. The second strategy is to call people out by name when they do a good job. If you notice something that somebody does, start mentioning names, because then people want their name mentioned. So those are two specific strategies that work really well. We do also have to help them with Wiki Wars. We had a couple more edits at the same time. Just encourage the kids, if they go in, and if it says somebody else is editing, hit cancel. And then if nobody's editing when they go back in, do not pull in the recovered draft. Discard the recovered draft. Write that down. Discard the recovered draft. Because if they use the recovered draft doesn't have that person's edits in it, and they're going to write over it. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that. When you go in and it says that somebody is editing, cancel out immediately and get out. When they're no longer editing, you go in and it won't say it, but you want to discard the previous draft and go with the new, basically it's a new load, okay? So you want to discard the previous draft.
We haven't seen where someone's, like, you can tell if they're actually editing or not, but I always see the discard.
It's on the wiki bar. It'll pop up on the wiki bar at the top. So if you go, let's do it right now so you can see it.
Okay.
I'm on
pop-ups enabled on your browser.
Oh,
I
that
don't
I
think
can
you
promise
do.
we don't have.
I don't think you do. Go to Student Heartbreak Mapping page.
Really?
I don't think you do. No, I don't think you do. Now, we do have somebody who's put some Java. Go to the Student Heartbreak Mapping page. I'm hitting edit. Somebody else hit edit.
Where's Heartbreak?
I just threw
there.
it in the link in there.
I'm on it. Duh.
Let's see if it's going to pop up. Somebody hit edit. I don't see anybody yet.
You
editing.
don't? I just did.
Are you in edit mode right now?
Me? I am. This is the Student Heartbreak Mapping page, right?
Yeah, and you typed something?
I typed something, saved it, and I said me.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm going to erase it, obviously, but...
No, it didn't tell me. Usually it pops up right... Oh,
Yeah,
DERF2 saved this page. Okay, so it popped up real briefly, and it said DERF2 saved this page.
That'd be me.
That would be you. So where it... Okay. So let me... Let's do a quick screen share, Lisa, make this happen again. You ready? Lisa and I are going to share the screen, and I'm going to show you what I see. Okay, here we go. You'll see my screen right there. See it? You see
Yeah, I see that now, but that's not what's showing on my screen.
Watch. Okay, so Lisa, see how it says edit from recovered draft or ignore? I'm going to say ignore. Now, Lisa, go in to the page right now and edit and add something.
Here. Well, I spelled it wrong, but that's okay. I'm
Okay,
saving.
you hit save.
I am.
Okay, now are y'all watching my screen? I'm going to hit save, and it should say DERF2 just saved this page. Watch. Let's see. This page is being edited and has been saved.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
that's-
now we see I have a little bitty of a glitch, and so I'm going to have to go in and figure out what just happened, or I can just go in and revert if I didn't make a big change. But there are times where we'll actually tell you that somebody is editing at the same time, and it'll tell you it pops up like on this bar right here. And it'll
Mine
say,
popped up right below it.
did it say I was editing at the same time? Is that what it did?
No, I mean that one time that I was doing a student, they started editing after. I mean, it popped up, and I was already saving.
Yeah.
I felt so bad.
Well, just keep an eye on it. And, here's the other thing. One group went and put a chat box on the page.
The couple groups did that.
Yeah, and that's another thing is they can open the chat box and have the chat going and figure out who's in there at the same time. So that's a protocol that they could establish. In fact, you might even want to use, I'm writing 2 words down. I'm going to talk about ambiguity, and I'm going to talk about the word protocol, because protocol could say, okay, guys, before you edit the page, go in the chat box and see if anybody else is there and chat each other in the chat box. That's another suggestion that they could make. Every team is going to be slightly different. Okay. I wanted to compliment you, Susan, on your handshake. Your group had a really nice handshake, and I know it was a challenge to get it up there, but I loved it. I thought it was really nice, and I just encourage everybody. I saw that there were a couple of people, students, who left them a message, and I'm not sure which teams they were, but that was really wonderful. Okay. Some kids are getting done and getting upset. That was a Dawn issue, and I would talk to them about how to motivate others. I gave you those 2 strategies. And Junior was going to tell you that I had Kim on the show last week, and it hasn't gone live yet, but your ears must have been burning on Tuesday because we were bragging on how amazing you are. Kim Bearden, no relation to Susan, is it? That works with Junior and Ron Clark. So anyway, that was awesome. And the feedback you guys are leaving is amazing. In fact, it's pushing my kids, and they're like, who's Miss Natalie? Who's Miss Susan? And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, my teams are probably not very happy with me because I've not been on there, and I've got to go back and get back on there. We did kind of decide that Trello would kind of be our tool that we'll be using for task making, and I'll be having to do some work on that. We probably won't quite be ready to go in there on Trello yet. What's got to happen is we're going to spend most of our time in a working meeting. So those of you who want to go ahead and load these in your screen, the links for all the yellow lights, we're about to be looking at those and talk through those. So we've got to get that done. So what needs to happen is, Kat, we already have a few that we're about to tell you about, 3 that we need. We're ready for your green light. And what we're wanting to do is this: go through that Dropbox link that Lisa gave us, go through each of the yellow lights and give them specific feedback on why it's still in yellow light. And we need to get this, they all have to be moved. They need to be green light or red lighted by the end of this week, because all of our teams need to be ready to go in Crescent by early next. So, I mean, it's coming down to the wire, and we've got to kind of get it pushed through. So what we're looking for is we want a site map that kind of says, okay, these are the features, kind of spell out what the features are. Kat, tell your team they can feel free to leave question, highlight on the page. They might all want to join the wiki, highlight on the page and say, what are you trying to do here? You might have to ask some clarifying questions of the kids. They can do that right on the page. They don't need to let us be in between. They are part of the whole team of us. So let them leave questions on the page, and if you'll ping me and say, or ping all of us and say, hey, we got questions on this team or that team. You could also go on yellow light on this main student heartbreak mapping page, Kat, and leave them a message and say, Crescent is awaiting feedback from this team. And if all they're waiting is your feedback, then we'll just say your status is going to be on this particular page. We did lock this page for editing except for organizers, I think, didn't we, Lisa? We did. So if you're not an organizer, if you can't edit the student heartbreak mapping page, you need to tell Lisa Durf and she will promote you to an organizer, because we do not want students editing this page.
I just checked and I can get on and edit. So.
Oh, good. Okay. So does everybody kind of understand what we're doing? We understand what we're doing. Okay. What I'm going to do is point out to my kids tomorrow about, where each of these are, and to push them and to try to coach them and get them to where they need to be. So we got the Dropbox link up. We have 3 that we're wanting to move to green. We've got addiction, which is missing a sitemap. And Kat, you may glance at it and say we can't look at it until we have a sitemap, but we think it's pretty close. We've got poverty, which we don't see anything wrong with. So that's your first one. And then we want to look at bullying. Do y'all want me to pull it up on my screen as I look at it? Or do y'all want to just pull it up on you want me to pull it up on mine? Okay. Let me do that. Share screen. Here we go. You got it now? Got everybody? Okay. So we're going to go to bullying here. Okay, so let's take a look at the page. Some people are putting stuff at the top. I'm not quite sure how that's happening. They've worked real hard, this team has. So it looks like we have a lot of edits. We've got 144 edits. We have 70 discussions. Guys, y'all just take a look on your pages or mine, either one. Looks like they've got a lot of good content already. Hopefully they are not plagiarizing. That would be my one concern with this team, is to make sure not plagiarizing. No plagiarism. They've got a lovely little sitemap here going, which is very interesting. How to know if you're being bullied. Now, how's that, guys? Who would think of that? That's a big one. They've got their suggestions and ideas. They're pulling screenshots from other ones. They've got lots of app name ideas. Okay. Feedback, team. I mean, I could give you my feedback, but I would rather hear you guys as we try to all get to where we can do this. Who wants to go on mic? How do we send red light students to new teams? You tell them to go out there and sign up, particularly one that doesn't have enough people.
This team has enough people from several different schools, so I like that.
Okay. Who else has an opinion or a thought they want to share here?
I just wanted to agree with Lisa. I had noted that there's 4 schools represented and there's 10 students in that one. And I thought that, I was making a little list of groups of 10 and trying to find really well-rounded groups, like where it just wasn't 2 schools. Not that that's wrong. I'm just saying I did that.
Okay, guys. So on this one, we want to send this one to Chris Serrance for final approval.
No, out. Out.
Is that what we want?
Yes, sorry.
Note to team. Make sure you aren't plagiarizing and are citing sources.
And do we want to tell teams also that this week they should be identifying a PM and an APM?
Yes, that is, yes. PM and APM is this week, and we'll talk about that last before we get off. Lisa, just remind me, we'll talk about that right before we get off. Okay, so we have addiction, poverty, and bullying, all of them going to Chris Serrance. Let's hit our next one is stress. It has 10 plus people. It has 10 plus people. Let's all glance at it. I'll give everybody a second to take a look at it on your screens or mine.
Stress caused by school. You didn't always write out the full name.
This is stress caused by school. It is. It's got a mix. We have a couple different, they did a nice job with that. We don't have a lot on a sitemap though, do we?
I don't see any app features.
App features.
They do
App
about
feature suggestions are at the bottom. They did it in Word documents. So they're going to have to spell out the app features. Y'all type in the chat what you think is the feedback here. Natalie likes the bullying team and says, I think this is going to end up with a pretty quick green light. Okay, so we're looking at stress caused from school. Feedback, guys. Type it in or speak it.
I noted the same thing about the mind maps. I said I really love the research and what they have been doing thus far, and I think the mind map was missing some information.
Yeah, those mind maps are going to probably be the most important thing for us, just making sure. And if they have like a separate document for their features and they want to just like kind of put that, in parentheses in the mind map too, that's just going to be the easiest way for us to make sure that the platform is going to support whatever it is that they want to do.
Okay, so I just typed this at the top there. I hope that expresses what we're all going to have to talk about. Because here's the thing, in the real world, guys, you would not get a red light on any website design project or app without one of these. So this is not unusual. You must have one before you can even pose to the client.
So can I make a suggestion? On the commenting schedule, we have broken down and divided up the teams. So maybe if those teachers who have those certain teams could be the ones that go in and suggest things to them, that's your team to make sure they push them on or give them a red light, whichever the case may be.
Okay. So you're saying that you think that we should not talk through these?
Oh, I think we should talk through them, but who's going to be the person who actually goes in and writes stuff down?
On the pages themselves. Yeah, I know. I think we all should take our team and go back to our team with feedback. Yes, I agree, Lisa. Everybody should go back on and give feedback to their team, particularly if they don't have a sitemap. Okay, so this is the Adoption as an Option group. They were abortion, and they have shifted because they were trying to avoid the politics of abortion somewhat. So they are trying to show, they're talking about lots of life, LOL. That's one of some of them have been discussing. But thoughts here, guys?
My class actually had several students, some weren't even on the project, got into a very heated debate that I just kind of monitored. Because you're right, they kept talking about abortion and the right to life, and then they kept arguing that they weren't talking about that. They were trying to get into an option and opportunity. So it's going to definitely have to think, no matter what, create a stir, because these were kids not even on that topic. They were heated in their own topic. So yeah, started chatting about it.
Yeah, we had some of that too, yeah. So guys, adoption is an option. Why don't we split these up here for a second? Y'all want to do that? Does everybody have access to the computer?
Yeah.
Let's, who wants to take animal abuse? Real quick, who's got that one?
I can.
Okay, so jump in that one, see if they've got a sitemap and features. Child abuse. Who wants that one? Real quick.
I'd step away from home.
She's got to step away. Who wants to take it real quick? I can't see everybody, guys. So Junior's got it. Okay. Y'all tell me if y'all see, because I can only see 4 at a time. Junior's going to take a quick look at child abuse, suicide prevention. Who doesn't have one yet? Susan, you got one? Susan will go there, take a look at it. Gun control. Natalie, you got one? Take gun control then. Kat, would you take domestic violence real quick, see if they have a sitemap and features? Who else do we have that I've not given one to? Dawn, you already
I've
looking
got
at
animal abuse, and I'm already done. They have a fantastic map with lots of features.
Okay, so what we're going to do is just take the next one down. You and I are going to be talking about this one for a minute. People can weigh in and look at it on my screen. You're going to say, hey, this is what we think. Yeah. Wow. And this group is really, they've done all this work today. This was not.
I told them to have 50 names and a mind map if they didn't want to be red lighted tonight. So I was trying to push all my classes.
Okay, so if anybody else wants to jump in, you can. But Dawn, you think we should send this one on to Chris Arentz now?
I think that was ready.
Okay, so they've got animal abuse is being sent to Chris Arentz for review.
Yeah, they did a lot of that today. You're right.
Yeah, that was a day one. Okay, so if you'll jump on down to the next one, which I think is somebody got domestic violence.
Self-harm?
Yeah, jump to self-harm. And who's got child abuse?
I have child abuse. They do have a mind map there. However, app features are kind of lacking. I think they have 3 things listed. They may have added something else to it, but it looked like they might have embedded it incorrectly.
Yeah.
Scroll down. Keep scrolling under app features.
Yeah.
Like something.
Yeah, they don't have quite enough yet, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to leave them a message on that page and edit real quick and say, hey, guys, what were you trying to do here? We'll all go back and give feedback, but we'll just tell child abuse that they need a little more on their sitemap, a little more on your sitemap, and clearly list app features. Okay, now you jump on down to cancer. Who's got suicide prevention? Somebody jump and get suicide prevention. Just go on Mike. Who got it? Nobody?
Sorry, I got suicide prevention. I just was trying to unmute.
Okay.
Windows open here.
Give us an overview.
They have lots of good content here, but they don't have an actual site map. I mean, they have ideas for the app features, but they don't have a site map. So I think I'll put something down and say, okay, we need a site map on this in order to be green lighted.
Okay.
I mean, they've got 29 app features. Yeah, they do have app features, information on places to get help, inspirational stories and uplifting quotes, things they can do to make them feel better, counselors that'll provide prevention, toolkit to help prevent suicidal accidents. I mean, they've got a lot of ideas. They just haven't ordered it in a structured mind map fashion.
So needs a site map so we can move forward. Lots of interesting features listed. Very good. And if you'll jump down, did somebody already get cancer?
A quick question. Where exactly are we wanting to place the comments? In the discussion board or make a comment on the actual editing page?
Highlight, hit edit and highlight on the page and click comment and leave it right on the page where the thing is, kind of like you would in a Google Doc.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Who has gun control?
I do. And it has a site map.
Oh, I've got some very passionate people in this group, and I have just told them they don't want their guns taken away.
No, they don't. I have one on there too, and they're very passionate.
They
need to get some more people on their passionate team.
Mm-hmm.
How many edits do they have? They have 64 edits, which is okay. So we have how many on their team?
6.
And what do y'all think about their site map? So this team currently has 6 members. Okay. What do you think of their site map on the gun control? You think it's fleshed out pretty well?
I think it could have some more work.
I
guess it's clarity, maybe.
A little more work / clarity on what you're planning. Recruit some more people on this team. I think also by listing how many have members and who needs members, maybe we should write down, needs members or something. You think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think that'll help recruit. Okay.
Vicki, I noted out of the ones we redlighted, there's 10 students that need to be relocated on our teams.
Oh, are there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're going to look at those red-lighted ones real quick because you wanted us to consider Mexican gangs and talk about that. So we'll definitely do that. Let's, who all has what? We all type in the box who has what?
Oh,
Because we already have somebody with domestic violence, somebody with self-harm. Do we have
I have
somebody
self-harm.
Do we have somebody with cancer? Not hopefully with cancer, but on the cancer page.
Take texting and driving.
Okay, you'll take texting and driving. Who wants to take cancer? Junior, want to take cancer?
Sure. I'm still making comments right now.
Oh, okay, you're making. We don't want to give you anything else then. Susan, are you ready for your next one?
Just about. What do I want? Cancer? What am
Yeah.
I taking? No, I don't want cancer.
You don't want cancer. You'll take cancer.
I'll take cancer. I want cancer.
Okay, who has domestic violence? Let's review that one quickly while people are looking.
I have it.
They do have 10 people, but they were lacking app features.
Okay, they're lacking app features. So what do you think? This is Kat.
Yeah, they have a sitemap that I think kind of describes the types of features that they would want. And anyways, they do mention something. The sitemap looks good. I like the way it's organized and everything, but they do mention something about a game. So I'm just concerned about that because we don't really have, gaming type templates. But depending on how they want to make that happen, then it looks good.
Now I see two sitemaps. Which one is the right one?
I think the top one is more of like a actual outline of how the app is supposed to go. And the bottom one had a little bit more details.
Okay, so we think the top one is the correct.
Yes.
Okay. Is the top one your sitemap? Seems to be very clear on the game, as typically Chrysaorance is not a gaming platform, but spell it out for reviewers. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's right.
Because I mean, if they wanted to do an in-person game or something like that, which
Right.
hard to use the word game. And
Yeah.
does this one have enough members? How many members do they have? Oh, they have a lot of members. They're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else do they need? They need to spell out about the game. Do they list clearly their features? They have the sitemap, but they don't clearly list their features, do they?
No, the only feature that they really talked about having was I'm sorry, my cat is knocking things off my wall. Was the game.
Okay.
So yeah, more
Okay.
details of the features.
Excellent. Do you want to jump down, Kat, now and take a look at mental illness?
Okay.
And I'm going to save this one. And who has self-harm?
me.
Okay, talk to us about it.
Self-harm, they're moving really strong. There's a couple of strong kids, but I already know there's two of mine are really weak on there too, or at least one really is. They have a nice sitemap at a glance, but there needs to be some better content there. And like I said, they need members. They don't have many app ideas as far as names either. I'm not sure quite where
That's
they're.
because they've already decided uncut. They all want uncut.
Okay.
So I think they kind of, because they all really liked One Cut, or a lot of them did, that they were kind of like, well, we don't even have ideas. This is uncut. This is a great,
And I mean, there's a lot of potential there about, things to do instead of cut. I like that. They just need to kind of, I guess, narrow it down. And I just am concerned there aren't that many with only 5. And like I said, I have 3 of those 5. And one of them is barely functioning. He's got a 2% in my class. Let's put it that way. Yeah. And no matter how much I've tried to get the kid motivated, then I've got the other 2 are fine. They would work pretty well, but with that low number, and then I don't know, you can weigh in. I kind of saw, like, when I started looking at the discussion board to see what talks are happening, I saw that silliness today between Freya and Chandler or whatever it was, where they were
Chandler, I was going to delete it. Chandler isn't even on this team. I'm deleting that discussion. He was being silly, and I deleted it.
Yeah,
Now,
I've
who
had a
is
couple
Sir
of kids doing stuff like that too.
Who is Sir Discord? You see one of your
Sir
students?
Discord's mine. That's a Florida branch kid. Unfortunately, a lot of them, I had them change their names when they had their name on there too much.
Yeah.
And so they can't do it until I think they got another 15 or 18 days where they can add their FPHS on it. Or
Well,
FPHS.
mine were really, really excited about Sir Discord. They thought he had great feedback, and they really like him. They're like,
He was he surprised me. He's a sleeper kind of kid where, I see potential, but I haven't seen him motivated yet. So I was happy to see this out of him.
This is the first motivation I've gotten out of Lexi and Freya, honestly. They're very excited. They're very highly engaged. And and I won't say which one, but one of these students, this is, has really changed their life, which is great and opened up doors. It's a struggle though. So we're going to list this one as needing some more members. It has 6 members, needs some more. Would you say that?
Yes.
Or it has 5 members or 6?
I thought it was 5. 1, 2. Yeah, 5.
Okay. And what do we think about this sitemap? And
it seemed like it needed more help. I am having problems getting editing going on. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so we need some work on the sitemap.
Yeah, for the actual app ideas. I mean, I think we could kind of steer them a bit with ideas. Like I like when it says when dealing with someone who self-harms. See, they put some ideas there. They just kind of seems like they haven't gotten maybe out of their heads onto the sitemap and in a little bit more screens itself. The potential's there. Maybe we could steer some kids towards this.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm having trouble
editing. Has lots of potential with some new members. And then we can say also that it needs to take your feature ideas and put them onto the sitemap. Do we need to steer them away from a chat room, Kat? Because I don't believe we can do chat room unless we embed a chat room. And then you've got all kinds of liability and stuff too.
Yeah.
They could list, you can list links to good chat rooms, but it isn't really a feature you can use in the app. Okay. Oh, we got to hurry to get these. Okay, so we got self-harm going. You want to jump down and pick the next one, which I think is people with special needs that matter.
Sure.
And we got the cancer one. Who's ready for that one?
All right. So cancer, they have only 8 students. And they actually do have a pretty well thought out mind map. But this was the one where there was a comment where some of the kids, someone said, please do work. You guys have done nothing for this heartbreak and it's at risk for being terminated. And I'm trying to...
I bet you that's one of mine. I've been trying to talk to them about the way they talk to each other.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out if they actually did anything.
Well, when I look at they got 112 revisions, and you got Puma, T-Shack, Matt, Falcon, Bam Bam. I mean, you got a lot of edits.
Yeah.
It's definitely heavy with just 2 or 3. Matt, T, Falcon, Puma, and T-Shack. Whose kids are those?
They're all mine. I knew as soon as you said that, I'm like, I bet you. Oh, is it cancer?
Yes.
Yeah, they talked to me at length, a couple of them. They were telling me what they put, and I'm like, please go delete that, and let's change the way we say that is into like, we're in danger. Have you got any ideas? We really need some help. Be encouraging rather than accusatory, and stop the negativity.
I would say that it needs some a few non FBS students, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few listed. Hold on, what do we see?
They don't look engaged, though, do they?
Yeah, that's the thing, is they don't look engaged. The non-FBS students don't look engaged.
That's what mine were saying, but not so nicely.
Yeah, so let's see who those students are. I may have one of them. I know I don't.
No, RCA.
Yasirka, RCA, and Dunny DMS. Who has those students? Are they strong students, guys?
Repeat that. Who was it?
Jessica RCA and Dunny DMS.
Is it Jace RCA? I can't
Jace
quite.
RCA, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so he hasn't completed.
He hasn't contributed.
Okay.
And then Dunny DMS.
Yeah, Dunny applied, and I think he may have been caught in the crossfires because I know he was entering a lot of information the other day, and he said he didn't have it show up.
Ah.
And mine are first period.
That he may have felt like.
Yeah. If they're in the morning between 8:30 and 9:15.
Yep.
That's that class with a ton of them. And I'm trying to tell them edit and get out. But there's several of them are in that same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Dunny's second period, and that would have been why.
Ah.
Okay. Okay, so Dunny has participated. We just don't see it
Yes.
because it's not here.
No. And I know
Yeah,
he was
I'm
doing
saying
it.
make small edits so everyone. How's their sitemap looking? How do we feel about their sitemap?
I actually take a look at the site. I mean, I actually like the basic outline for the site map. I mean, I think it needs a little more detail at like the second level, but actually, it's actually quite nice.
And they don't list any features, right?
Right. It's just the map, like they have, logos, ways of developing cancer, and then cancer prevention, ways of treating cancer, connecting with other families, connecting with charities to pay funds, posting the cancer stories. And then they have descriptions for each of those categories.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see what I'm. Yeah.
The kids who've done the work.
So I put needs a few. They have. So I put needs a few non-FBS members, make small edits so everyone can contribute. Sitemap needs a little second level detail. Need to list features on the page. This is close and has lots of potential with a few new members. Sound good?
I like that.
And
excellent. Okay.
Excuse me, Vicki. And Jace needed to mention how does this heartbreak, or why is this heartbreak important to him? Is that what he's missing, or has he not done anything on the page at all?
It may be that so many other edits have happened, and maybe it was later last week. We might not be seeing them. So he may be contributing, but maybe not lately. So I think if he just joins in and, adds comments and communicates about the features in the sitemap, which is where everybody needs to be focusing, then that'll show that, we have somebody else contributing in there.
Okay.
You have some highly engaged members, which is awesome. You have those couple of students that are doing 1 trillion edits, and it may be pushing the other students down, but they're still making substantive edits. So I don't think it would be a punitive thing, Junior. I think it would just be come on in and edit some and let him see you and that sort of thing. Comment.
Yeah, he's normally a kid that it's kind of shocking because he's normally a kid that would have, I know would be all over the place, like in there. So I just want to touch base with him, just to see what's going on. I didn't say it was anything punitive. It was just kind of, I've normally pulled the kids during lunch, like, hey, what's happening? Because sometimes they run into issues.
Yeah.
They run into issues and stuff. So just trying to see.
Okay, so texting and driving, who's got that one?
I do. And they have some nice app features that they've listed, but they don't have their sitemap laid out like everyone else.
Is it at the top?
No, it's in the middle.
Oh, it's different. Oh.
Yeah.
That's not really a sitemap, is it?
No. And I don't know who put that on there.
Yeah. Okay, so this sitemap is really a brainstorm and not a sitemap. Would you create a sitemap about the pages that you want on the app and list the app features? How are we on the number of people on this team?
I think there's 11.
Yeah, this is a large group, and got decent edits. They don't have as much conversation. Maybe we should say looks like you're editing. Try to have more conversation on the page and discussion between you. Looking good? Does this look good? Doesn't need any more members. Does that sound good?
I'm wondering if
Texting and driving?
the chat box does save what they say in there. Because if it doesn't save what they're saying in the chat box, maybe they're having more interaction than we can see.
It looks like it's saving from what I've been seeing.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask is, can Coursera's review this one? Because if you look at their app suggestions, they have some ideas about using the speed of having the app detect the speed of the car to send messages. I just don't know if that's what's capable within the CMS.
About detecting.
Is anyone from Coursera still on the call or no?
Cat should be.
I did email
Okay,
Chris Arentz at one point last week asking someone to review it, but I never heard back from anybody.
Okay, that was supposed to be Christy because I wasn't here, but I can go back and look. So once these all get to the point, this is just a question for in general, but once these all get to the point where you're ready to have them sent to us, if it's something that is good, do you want me to just go ahead and like move it to the green light section? And then if it's something that we don't think is plausible,
why don't you just do this? Why don't you just email Lisa Durf and say, hey, we're ready to green light it, and just let one person move them around so there's no confusion.
okay. And then just let her
You
know
go right ahead, Kat.
Okay, perfect. And then I'll just kind of say why. So yeah, like for example, that we wouldn't have the capability of being able to detect.
Yeah. So if maybe someone Chris Arentz could get on there and just let the kids know that before they develop this huge mind map based on the assumption that they send those alerts.
Sure.
That is a great idea, Susan. Excellent. Okay. Are we ready to move on to mental illness or anything else on texting, Susan?
No, that's good. I should say, I'm still going to be here, but I've got Ed Tech Chat that just started, so I'm going to be sort of multitasking. So I'll be listening.
Go ahead. We won't let you run lead on this, and we're running a little long today. I apologize, everybody. If you have to get off, then just let us know you have to get off. How about this? Let me go ahead and talk about this. We have a few more to finish, but guys, by the end of this week, we need to have our project manager and assistant project manager, and it needs to kind of be through some consensus. I'm thinking that I probably need to add a page on what is a PM and what is an APM. And I would say that let's see if any just emerge, and if any are close, maybe we'll share back and forth. But here's the big rule. The PM and the APM cannot be from the same school. Okay, that's the golden rule is the PM and the APM. So the PM is the project manager, APM is the assistant project manager, and they're going to have to work together closely to kind of help their team move forward. Okay, and I will create a page. I got to put this on my list. A page of what's a PM and what's an APM. Okay, so I'm putting that on my list. Got that, everybody?
Yep.
And I'll see what I can do about trying to. And we may have to mediate. They may say, okay, it's between so and so and so and so. And in the case of a tie or something, then we'll probably have to kick it back to us, and we'll have to talk and see what's appropriate. We want to make sure every school has some leadership. Okay, so that's another piece that we want to make sure that every school has leaders that want to be. So, and then teachers, if you see somebody who is wanting to be a PM or an APM, be open-minded if it's somebody who hasn't taken leadership before, but then also be aware that if you know that they implode at the sign of the first amount of stress, that they don't need to be the PM at all, and they probably don't need to be the APM. So we need to they can create as many jobs as they want to. The PM can make production manager, this and that, and that's usually the solution for those other students to say, okay, let's let this person be in charge of this and that, and we'll talk about those other jobs. Okay, so Susan, I know you need to chat. Who is reviewing mental illness?
And I'm assuming, okay, here's the one problem I'm seeing. The mental illness one is, I think, all Flowery Branch, and then the people with special needs is all Westwood, and they need to come together. They should be working on one of them together, and they both seem like they're fighting over making theirs the right one because they're really good. So someone's going to have to kind of go like, you guys are squashing to something, and maybe combine the pages, because at a glance, people with special needs looks amazing with what they've done. But then as I'm looking, and I've been telling that to mental illness, it's like they took it, instead of what my point was to try to make them move over, but they seem to have kind of taken it as a personal challenge to up their ante a little. So now I'm like, I don't know where.
So guys, okay, so what do you think about us leaving a message that the teachers strongly propose they combine? Or should we say, we will let you continue if you combine mental illness with special needs? I mean, what do you want to do?
And we've said that on the tops, and I've said that to them too, which is why I tried to make mine move to yours, but they kind of went, well, special needs fits in mental illness is broader, was their argument. And I'm like, well, okay, then you better make a case for it to them. And that's kind of where it got.
So, do we want to tell these teams that we would like them to consult with each other and come up with a proposal to combine? that we don't really give them a choice because this team is all FBS and people with special needs is all Westwood.
Yeah.
Or
And they're both doing excellent work, but they would do super excellent together. I mean, it's kind of my boys in there took it as, instead of moving over, took it as some kind of challenge and got competitive about it, which is kind of funny because they're not usually that competitive in the classroom, but hey, whatever works to get them motivated.
Yeah.
Or is this something we may want to consider some of the other kids for who are on the other heartbreaks that might not be really going anywhere?
Well, these are so closely related was my only thing.
Oh, okay.
You know, because it's special needs and then mental illness. I mean, you can take them in a different direction, but I'm fine with that too if we wanted to. I was just imagining
what the dynamic might be like merging the two teams if they're that competitive.
Interesting.
Well, here's the thing. They haven't recruited any students not out of their school. So at this point, they're both facing red light, right? If we follow the rules, they're both facing red light. So at this point, I don't know if y'all can still see me typing or not. At this point, you're both facing red light, but you have awesome ideas and you are amazing. If you open your eyes, we think that you'll realize, I didn't mean to rhyme, that this could make an incredible world-changing team if you will consider it. Will you two teams get together and discuss how you can combine into one killer app? What is that? Is that positive and encouraging?
I think so. Maybe I'll make them emerge.
And then Junior made a great point, which we should put here and say needs a few non-FBS, non-WHS members, and that would help. Okay, is that what you want me to say, guys? Does that sound positive, encouraging, helpful, and motivational?
I think so.
Okay, does that reflect everybody's thoughts? Because you can see, guys, this is how, especially our early flat classroom projects, we had to do this sort of thing together because we make better decisions together and you're each adding to it. Reading that, does anybody, Junior, Susan is busy working on EdTech chat, any others have any feedback on this particular Kat or anyone on these two teams and how we're phrasing this to them? Thumbs up if you're happy. Okay, got a lot of happy. Okay, who? You Matter.
I did You Matter. First thing I noticed was the mind map was seemed a little vague. Looked like they could have put a little bit more information somewhere in there about, where they're kind of going with this. They had a lot of information on their pages, which was good. They only had 7 members when I checked as well, and not everyone posted why the heartbreak was important to them.
Yeah, now this is an interesting one. I met with Angela Myers last week and was showing this, and she has given them an approval to make the official Choose to Matter app. But we need a few more kids because this would be this is big time. So my map is vague. It needs to be more clear.
More members.
Clear. Okay. Angela Myers is interested in this being the official Choose to Matter app, depending on if you can recruit more members and get this more fleshed out. What else do you want to say to this group? What else do you guys?
Let me take another look. I actually just got off the page. Where are we? Everything else seemed good. They had a lot of mock-ups and drafts, lots of app name ideas. They had 51 to be exact.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that was it. That was just about it.
So it has lots of potential there. Okay, obesity. Who's got obesity? Who's looking at it? Somebody look at obesity?
I can't.
Let's see who's looking at what. Who's looking at, we got obesity. Just type in the chat what you've got. We got obesity, depression, sex trafficking, and war. Kat has war. Who has sex trafficking?
I'll take it.
Okay, who has depression? Not has it. Who will take depression? And who will take obesity?
Hold on, wait. Who did you say took depression?
Didn't you say you would take depression?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't hear it sound like you said cat.
No, you take depression, and who's taking obesity? Dawn, you want to take obesity, or did you already grab one?
I grabbed sex trafficking, but I can do obesity too.
No. You do sex trafficking, and I can look
Let me have obesity.
Okay.
I'll go there.
Take it.
Gotcha.
Okay. When you're ready, y'all, whoever's ready, just shout out because we want to get this finished. I know y'all want to be done, and we've done a lot of great work tonight.
The war one does not have a mind map at all, and their features are very minimal. It's more of just a description instead of actual specific features. And there are only 4 of them in that group.
And actually, there's Gage, Jacob, and Hunter, both all from WHS, but they're on the top line together.
Oh, I see that. I'm sorry. So
But they are some of my weakest students.
Okay.
All 3 of them. I mean, they literally one person edited. I've been having trouble getting them all to edit. They want to sit there and watch the other person do it. But I do know they're passionate about it. But
now, Vicki, take a look. There's that Mexican gang wars that I made. I told them they were red lighted. If you wanted to possibly pull some of them over, because they kind of did a lot.
See, I'm not seeing anything on Mexican gangs and drug.
They might have. There's 2 of them. There's Mexican gangs and drug wars, and then there was a single, and then there was one with an S. That's where I think things got screwy.
During last week, we redlighted one of them.
Yeah, that was the one that you guys redlighted, and I was trying to find out why, and I never got an answer, so I just kicked him off.
Oh, because it may have been because there was just one.
No, there's 2 of them. See where it says gangs and drug wars, and then there's gang and drug war. There's one on top of the other under the G's. It's under the G's. Gangs and drug wars.
Oh.
And that's why I kept changing the link in there, but I think Lisa kept redoing my link, and I was like, they actually did a lot. And then I made them all disperse.
Okay, so are they dispersed already?
Yeah, that's what I was told to do, so I dispersed them.
I think that what was happening is we were trying to red light the blank one, not the one that people were working on.
We were.
Yeah, and that's I did on the Google Doc and said, please go check. This was the wrong link, and someone went, "Oh, I did that. Sorry." And then someone changed it back again, and then I went back and changed it to pink words to highlight it again. This is not the right link. I'm giving you the right link. And it kept getting kicked back to me, but I kept emailing, but no one would answer me by words. They just kept changing the Google Doc. And I put a comment, and they deleted my comments too. So I went, all right, whatever. So I dispersed them.
Weird.
That was the one where the kid's cousin got shot.
Yes. Okay, so what do we want to do with this particular issue then?
I mean, they've already gone somewhere else at this point. I could try to steer some of them they just kind of left yesterday or Friday. And I had strep last week, so I was out 2 days. So they were like, and I said, well, there's something else. And they kind of went, well, you told us what to leave, so we did. So I don't know if they were annoyed or.
So here's my question. The other students on war, besides mine, are they strong? You've got Drew from RCA, Nathaniel from FBHS, and Drew from DMS.
Yeah, Nathan, to put it short, he is not allowed on computers, and he's doing this stuff at home because he's been getting into them, doing all kinds of wrong things with them. And in 2 classes, he's actually been removed from computing. So he's not an actual source. Oh, wait, Nathaniel is. There's another one, Nathan, that I have problems with.
Okay, but Nathaniel is a good one.
Nathaniel's actually a really good one.
He's a very strong
Yeah,
student.
sorry,
Okay, how
there's
about
close in
Drew?
names.
How about Drew?
Drew's a strong student as
Junior?
well.
Okay, and then how about Drew B from DMS?
He's very mean. He has. I don't feel like he is as strong as we're suggesting the others are.
Okay, the Mexican gang war student, 1 or 2. You're saying they're strong. Was that? Were they yours, Dawn?
Yeah, there was like 5 of them.
And they're strong.
Yeah, they had a lot of stuff going on in the discussion
Okay,
board.
how committed are they? Their new teams.
I can talk to him tomorrow to make sure.
Okay, so why don't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Why don't we tell this team if they can attract a few more members, and they have to clearly spell out their site map. They have no site map. Otherwise, if they can attract a few new members and clearly spell out their site map, then they'll need to join other teams. I mean, is that what we want to do with this one?
Make sure we
And then
give them
actually mention
a deadline.
that some of the
Yeah.
members from the Mexican drug war group might be great recruit.
Yeah.
What do you want me to mention?
Because Connor and Chase in 5th period are kind of bummed. The other ones that were really serious into it, Beach Babe, which is Stephanie. I can talk to her and the other kid, Andrew. I can talk to them. There's 4 that I know that are fairly decent.
If you could recruit some of the really strong members of the red lighted of the what do we want to call it, Mexican?
Well, on the thing, it's gangs and drug wars, and it's the ones with the S.
This could make a strong team. It needs a site map and features ASAP. If you cannot recruit or get a site map by what time, like midday Thursday? I mean, is that what we want to push on these guys?
Wednesday evening
By
or Thursday.
By Wednesday evening, you should consider joining other teams.
Sounds good.
But this has a lot of potential, especially if you can recruit some of the superstars from that previous wiki. How is that? How does that sound? Will that affirm those who, and you can just explain to them that there were so many names, there was just confusion, but we really want them to be able to do what they're passionate about doing. Is that sound good? Okay. Almost there. Who wants to go? Who's ready on the next one?
I'm ready at obesity.
Let's go.
They have no mind app. They only have 3 students. They need more app names and more app features. And
it's only WHS.
There's
I see only. Really? You see an FBS? It's 4 WHS.
I'm sorry. I'm depression.
I was
not
going to say.
obesity.
Yeah.
I'm in depression, not obesity. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're in depression, not obesity. So, okay. You want me to go back? Oh, we'll go to depression then. Hold on. So depression, you're saying, how many students do we have?
Okay.
Do we need to encourage depression to head towards mental illness?
Yes, that's what I was thinking exactly.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay, so let's put depression up under this other category to these 4 teams. 3 teams. Is that what we're going to do? So let's say to these 3, we end up with a massive team, but they may or may not. They may fight for what they want. I don't think we have to force them, but can fight for it. So we'll put depression. And how many this only has how many in it?
3.
Yeah, 2 are my FBS, and actually the one girl that is Rachel has it very severely. I've had to get a couple of interventions with her. She has depression. I've had to get her on with the counselors, and we've had to get some things done.
Yeah. Well, I know depression and self-harm tried to get together, tried to kind of group, and then they kind of said no, but then they said yes. And so there was some conversation between those
Wow,
teams.
this is a lot of stuff for only 3.
Yes, it is.
You did a lot of work for only 3 members.
And those are my 2
Wow.
quiet period.
Is that original work?
This work needs to be pulled into another app or group, and you will make
That's a good question, Lisa. I'm not sure. They cited a lot of it.
You can combine
Wow.
them. Okay, so to these, we're going to make this note to these 3 teams and see what they work out. Does that sound good? Okay, so now we're looking at obesity, which is only my students. I've got 4.
Yes.
Honestly, I really think that this should be, I already talked to them, I think this should be red lighted. I just don't think it's enough content, and I don't think these are strong enough, and I just think we should red light them and get them to go to these other teams, and they'll make strong people to these other teams. Does anybody have an objection to that? And I'll just make the call. Because here's the thing. I mean, they're going to end up wanting to make a fitness app, and you can't, I mean, you can kind of do it. But I'm just going to say great team and great work, but right now only 4 members from WHS. I know we have that other 3 one, but we grouped it. In other teams, as you will make a great addition to them. These kids on this team will really help some of these teams that are on the edges. So I think it's for the good of the team that they swap. And I'll talk to them and they'll be willing. Okay, we have sex trafficking.
That's me.
Okay.
That's the one where I've been concerned because the one kid's doing all the work. Let's see. He had the great ideas, which he put into words because he's the one that called the CEO. And I see like one kind of beginning, but one pretty good app idea. And after Elijah did the sex trafficking app, my map, he put it into words about how he had talked to that guy who actually asked them about how to bring darkness. He's from Out of the Darkness nonprofit agency. And we've got a mostly Flowery Branch and then one of Junior's guys.
So we really need some non-FBS members.
And I need someone stepping up besides Elijah. There's 109 edits.
We need non-FBS members, and we need some team members to step up and help Elijah lead the team. Great ideas here and lots of potential. So we need a few more members here.
Yeah, and the funny thing is there's a lot of edits here, and it's not all by Elijah. Bean 240 is one of the kids in that class too, and a couple others. I think he's just copying a ton of stuff in and doing short edits.
Okay, so do we need to not say? Okay, so we don't want to say that about Elijah.
No,
we just want to say non. We don't want to bum out. So need non-FBS members. Great ideas here and lots of potential. Need a few more members. And how are their sitemaps and their
it's off to a good start.
Their other items?
Yeah, that's the one that he talked to, and they've got 3 mind maps started. The one that Elijah put in was much more detailed, and he explained it in a paragraph underneath it. They probably need to come to some consensus because it sounds like the kids in class just kind of are letting him run with it, and they'll do some typing and help a bit. Yeah, when he puts stuff in, he puts a ton of stuff. The other kids are doing like little mini edits.
Okay. We've got lots of good feedback here. Okay, are we happy with where we are? Are there any that are in red light that need to be considered to be put back into yellow that anybody wants to ask to
We
do?
We did that one with Mexican something war, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we put them up and said to try to get them into the war team right here. We said, let's try to recruit them into that team to try to re-engage them. She'll explain privately what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on this? Are we feeling pretty good? And then Kat, you guys have, is it 4 apps to review in the next 24 hours? So maybe we can green light some. Is that right, Kat?
Yes. And when do you want the?
Okay. So
4. I see addiction, poverty, and bullying. What's the 4th
Yeah.
one?
we had one other
Animal
one.
abuse.
We sent animal abuse. We sent animal abuse. We sent poverty,
Mm-hmm.
bullying, and we only sent 3 then, right?
So
No, for
addiction.
Those
bullying,
are
poverty,
3.
addiction, and animal abuse.
Yeah, I got 4. Because Chris
Okay.
wanted me to put them in that
Okay.
document for her. And then Kat is going to do
Okay,
green
so
light,
guys-
right?
So guys, we gotta stay on top of this, and what you need to do is if you see a group that you think should go into Chris Arendt's review, send it through the Google group quickly, and once 2 of us agree that it should go, Lisa, if you'll shoot it over to Chris Arendt's for review. Once 2 teachers agree, does that sound like that way we're kind of teacher sourcing it? It's not stuck waiting on anybody. We kind of do this together. Does that sound good? If 2 people say yes, we send it over to Chris Arendt's? Because at this point, I trust y'all's judgment. You guys get it. We all get it. We're on the same, and I think if 2 of us look at it and say, go ahead, then that's what we do. And then Chris Arendt's will shoot for 24 hours. And then Kat will have to work on trying to get these teams and that sort of thing, and get the names and make sure all the IDs match. And that'll be another piece that we'll just have to email with the teachers. Guys, we've run long. We've been an hour and a half tonight, and I appreciate your time. I know that it was long, but it was worth it. I hope you guys see this is just a different project, and I don't know about y'all, but when you go out of town and you're exhausted and you come back and you're like, I don't have enough energy to keep this project going. And then you look at the project and you realize that it may have actually crested the hill, and we don't have to keep it. We just have to keep pushing. I think we're at a really exciting point. Yes, we're going to have to really work to get Chris Arendt's that piece we have. But I do see, I hope you guys see it, that we do have momentum in quite a few teams that's starting to happen. We got some other teams we're going to have to work on, but we do have some that are starting to really run. So, okay. Does anybody else have anything else that needs to come up tonight?
WordPress.
Are we
Is anyone
okay
else
waiting? I have a couple kids who tried to blog in there and they couldn't upload photos. So we've got to check permissions.
We
on
couldn't
them.
get in yet.
But I think right now we focus on you couldn't get in.
No, we tried every class period. And I tried several computers.
Yeah, I don't know what went and tried to log in as some of your students and had no issue.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're using the pen name and then the ma'am blog 2016 password, right?
Right.
Because I had every single student try it, and then we kept every single time it was popping up, you've had too many login attempts. You've had too many login attempts. And so I left my classroom, went to the neighboring classroom and tried their computer just to see about the cookies, because I deleted mine and everything. And I tried every browser. So I've thought
could I suggest that maybe
It's from
y'all
the
connect and do a screen share so you could watch?
yeah, I can try it again now.
Yeah, we can try. Yeah, we could do a screen share. Are you putting like your email or anything at the end of the pin name?
No, I tried both. I tried all 3 of them.
I'm going to let y'all, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm going to let the others go while we deal with this issue so that Natalie and the others that don't need to stay, you can go, guys. Unless you have questions, type them in the chat if you do. And we're going to go ahead and let them resolve this, and I'll hang around for that, okay? Sound good, everybody?
Sounds good.
Bye. Thank y'all. Okay, go ahead. I'll let y'all two. I'm going to go off mic and let you two resolve this while I'm doing other stuff.
Okay, do you want me to share my screen so we can look at it? Would that help, Kat?
That's perfect.
Okay. Okay, I haven't taken the screen over in the share screen. Here we go. Desktop. All right. Get new one. Come on. All right.
Okay. What I'm thinking maybe is that rather than going actually to WordPress and logging in that way, doing it through the website.
Okay.
I don't know if that will have any difference at all because
Yeah, we all day today, that's what we were using. So what is the website? Am I not on the right website?
just the Mad About Mattering website and then clicking on the blog.
Oh, okay.
They should be the same thing, but I've never actually gone to WordPress myself to log in. So
Yeah, let's try it.
click on the blog button. It's at the top.
Oh, gotcha, the button.
Yep. And then it'll go ahead and pull up the blog as it is, and then you'll just click the little 3 lines there on the side. Over on the tab bar on the side, the gray, yeah. And then click blog login. And I don't know if going through this way is going to make any difference, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, no kidding. And you know what? I forgot what my login was. Hang on.
Yeah.
I've done it so many times, so many different ways today, I forgot. Oh, and you know what? I think it was in an email. Let me think. Did I save it to my screen? No, that's my other list.
Was it just like Madden 5 or something or no? It was,
Hey guys, this is Vicki. For what it's worth, I could not log into the site through WordPress. I had to go directly. I actually had that problem. I had to go directly to the login.
Ah.
maybe.
So you did this way through the Mad About Mattering one?
Yeah, and then the first time you do it,
Yeah, I had to go directly to the
Okay. I wonder if I put, maybe it was John. Oh, wait. Hey, there we go.
Oh, yay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's finicky like that or what I mean, Christy understands that all way more than I do, but yeah, so just have them go in that way. And
Okay.
first time, just bookmark it, and you shouldn't have to go back through every other time. But hopefully that'll work for everybody else.
Awesome. Because that was so, I was getting so frustrated. I'm telling you, I was going into other people's classrooms, just walking in randomly, like, hey, I need a computer.
I know. I'm so sorry.
And I figured it had to be something silly, like, simple setting. Anyway, so the next step, because I know some I need to adjust with the yellow lighting and I'll have conversations, but I have quite a few that are probably going to get pushed to green. They're just kind of stalling. So is there anything you want me? I mean, I've got other stuff for them to do. Trust me, we have barely even started Scratch yet. So they got to work on a little bit of programming. But other things you want them doing, like, is there anything specific on the blog we should be getting them doing?
the big thing is they need to be ready to write a bunch of content. So I think the next step is to try to go ahead and get their project manager, assistant project manager, start dividing up who's going to be writing what, and let them go ahead and start writing some of it and putting it on the wiki so that they have it ready to go when they go into Coursera, so they can start thinking about it. We've also got to, and I was going to talk to Coursera about this, discuss the logo development and that sort of thing, the color schemes. So, I mean, the stuff that can go ahead, there's no way to go too fast.
I've already told them.
I don't think, because,
yeah, I've talked. So you want them to
color schemes, logos.
But you want those conversations?
Yeah, just add a heading and they can start talking about it.
I also just thought about this too, Dawn. I know that when we were there, we had an issue with your kids not being able to right click.
Yeah.
And I think that will pose a problem when they're having to zip files for the design. So maybe once they're all working in it, it'll just have to be that, your kids can help with actually creating a design or whatever, coming up with logos and all that stuff. But whoever's in their group from any other school will probably have to be the person that actually uploads it to the platform, since your kids can't zip.
Well, we found all the workarounds for that.
Okay.
We did, and when we were doing the zipping and unzipping, we realized there was a folder in a folder after you pointed that out when I was getting all flustered, and I was like, oh, for Pete's. So after 50 steps, we could but it is 50 steps, you're right. And that's something we could maybe bring up about with the manager and assistant manager of maybe having one person do all the actually, compiling everything and doing the app design rather than, when we do the Trello, because I did look at that since you guys brought it up, start maybe having people look at what, maybe designating what they want to be involved in. I mean, I've got one kid, I can't get her to do anything. All she wants to do is draw anime. So for designing, she's all over that. I mean, she's good at it. I wish I could get her to get interested in something else, but for designing, sign her up, man. She'll do all of it,
Yeah. Yeah. So the creative kids are the ones actually coming with the things, and the technical ones are the ones like actually putting them where they're supposed to be and all that stuff.
Yeah. Maybe we can get them kind of, I think you guys are right. Like designating what they're going to do and just have them start working on it. But so you want me to have that work on the wiki, not a blog for divvying and content writing?
Well, if you chose, they could reflect on where they are at this point in the process and what they're interested in doing. So they could do that, and they could put their links on there if you want to have them have personal reflections. I mean, at some point, I'm going to do that with mine and have them reflect. As soon as they get a green light, we're ready to pull them into Trello, and we're ready to get them going with their work. Once they're in Trello, they can really divide things up. So I would just tell them anything they do now is going to give them a head start, because some may be ahead and some may be behind. But in the end, they have to all end at the same time because they're going to have this big presentation. So they should kind of, if they're going to view it a little bit competitively, let's get ahead because we want to be ready for the competition. And the faster we can get our logos going and the faster we can get this stuff written and get it going, the more ahead we're going to be with the others,
Okay. So do you want me then, I can have them sign up for Trello and get an account just to kind of get that at least out of the way and show them the WordPress and get them in there too.
The Trello, we use our Google accounts with the school for it. We just hit it and sign in. So if you have a Google account, it'll make it easy for that. We can, I've got to some screencasts and stuff with it. Or we've got to do some screencasts with it. So yeah, I mean, I think that, some are going to be ready and some just need to get their stuff done. So let's see how it goes. If we see that we're ahead, then we may try to, I don't really think we're going to need a meeting at the end of this week, but let's just wait and see what happens, how fast this moves and gets going. Yeah, I would just put it this way. This is what I want my students and say, this is your chance to get ahead. You got to be writing. You got to get all this other stuff. Try to get ahead so that, you'll be a little more ready. So, okay, guys, we got to be done because we do not want to meet too long.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to start having them post you get on this main blog page then, now that I'm in too, about where they're at and their ideas and refer back and forth. Okay. I'll start looking at that for them then. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you for all your help.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Kat.
Guys, have a good one.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Lisa. Bye.
Okay, so everybody's had it here, so I can stop recording.